Over 600 students are feeling all the way up as rapper and Bronx native Fat Joe surprised them with a visit and a special donation.
We have a very strong mission, a mission that supports black and brown boys. And so this was incredibly uplifting for them.
For principal of the Eagle Academy for Young Men, Hector Velasquez, it was important for students to see someone who looks like them and knows what it means to grow up in the Bronx.
It also provides a pathway to enable them to understand that just because you make it in life doesn't mean that you should not give back.
With a donation of new clothing worth over $100,000 for rapper and Bronx native Fat Joe, it was more than gifting students with new hoodies, t-shirts, tracksuits, and sneakers.
So what we're trying to tell them is that you can become successful, but you don't have to leave where you're from. You can always be in your community, and you can also inspire the youth.
Fat Joe also took a moment to speak with the high school seniors, including Amadou Tall.
He knows some of the decisions that we have to make, some of the sacrifices that we have to make growing up in a neighborhood or like a borough like the Bronx. So he always just told us to like stay focused, don't give in to any distractions. Just make sure you stay on your grind and you'll be as successful as him one day. As a fan of Fat Joe's music, Amadou was excited to get back home and share the news with his dad. Growing up listening to my music, like my dad's a big Fat Joe fan, I feel like he's going to be really happy about it, and I'm really happy about it too.
Among the new clothing gifted by Fat Joe, his visit gave students something they can't put a monetary value on: inspiration. Reporting for BronxNet, Jonathan Calixto. Since 1936, the Orchard Beach Pavilion has been a historical landmark in the Bronx, and now it is getting the ultimate makeover. With a presence over 9 sites, Bard High School Early College welcomes its first location in the Bronx with the ribbon-cutting ceremony ahead of the inaugural school year. For incoming 9th grade student Kevin Mendoza, being accepted into Bard meant he could avoid long commutes to a school in Queens.
It would take me about 45 minutes to an hour to get there, but I heard that they were opening a Bard in the Bronx, and I decided to apply. It was about 15 minutes away, and it would arguably be a better school than the Catholic school in Queens.
125 students from 9th and 11th grade will be welcomed on September 7th as part of the first class of Bard High School Early College. Reporting for BronxNet, Jonathan Calixto. Over 80,000 asylum seekers have arrived in New York since 2022, and as the only resource center in the Bronx, Mexican Coalition serves as a safe haven for many who are in search of the American dream.
I know that experience of not knowing, how long can you be here?
For Jairo Guzman, president of the Mexican Coalition, and as an immigrant who arrived in America at the age of 12, there is a personal concern and commitment to helping asylum seekers.
And my story is not new, and it's very, very much the story of thousands of families. One of the things that I think has helped here greatly is the fact that all of our staff are immigrants.
Among the different services provided to immigrant families, from how to apply for an ID to knowing their right to New York, one of the most requested is the need for clothing. Miriam Soriano and Maria Dolores Perez share what it feels like to give back.
Es muy bonito ver cómo las personas se van con una sonrisa en su cara, el ver que hay personas, organizaciones que pueden ayudarle a sus necesidades.
Me llena de mucha satisfacción trabajar en una organización que está volcada totalmente a la comunidad migrante.
As the only center listed by the mayor's office as a resource center in the Bronx for asylum seekers, Jairo wants people to know they work closely with local officials to bring change.
Mexican Coalition nowadays is going out into the communities and saying, here we are. If you need guidance, we're here. If you need information, we're here. And we're also hearing what are some of those needs so that we can go back to the mayor's office and say, hey, we're hearing from immigrants that these are now their needs. How can we work together to make sure that we're helping them?
To learn more about Mexican Coalition and the resources available, visit BronxNet.org. Reporting for BronxNet, Jonathan Calixto. For many Bronxites, regardless of how many years you've lived in our borough, there is always more to discover. And our next guest has used her journey to not only shine a light on underrepresented communities and small businesses, but also is sparking conversations of diversity and inclusion through pioneering events like Riverdale Pride, Restaurant Week in Riverdale, and community-driven initiatives like clothing drives and winter coat giveaways. Her experience has recently led her to connect even further with businesses in our borough, launching For Bronx Community, the podcast. Here to share more is founder and director of For Bronx Project, Laura Levine Pinedo. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
I'm good. Good morning. Well, I know I mentioned a few of the things that you're doing. You have also received awards recently.
Yes.
What does this time feel like for you?
How do we put this into, how do we put this organized chaos?
Hola a todos y bienvenidos. Me llamo Jonathan Calixto y esta es una edición especial en español de In the District. Hoy tengo el placer de traerle esta conversación desde el corazón de la armería de Kingsbridge y conmigo dos invitados que nos van a hablar de este momento tan histórico para el condado del Bronx. Y cuando hablamos de la oportunidad que puede tener esta armería de Kingsbridge acá en el condado, ¿por qué es la importancia de tener esto en el Bronx? Y a ustedes que están sintonizándose, muchas gracias por compartir en esta edición especial en español de In the District. Me llamo Jonathan Calixto. Hasta la próxima.